Hello, everybody. Welcome to Townsend 505, or welcome back for your lovely viewer. Today, today's gonna
Oh,
be a sad day. Today's gonna be a very sad day. Today is gonna be the last day
a
that
sad day.
it's a sad day, but sad day because it's our last Bob Welch album with Fleetwood Mac. Next Fleetwood Mac review, I'm gonna be changing my name to Lindsey Buckingham. So gone with the old, coming in with the new. Um, what do you guys got to say? Well, we're reviewing their ninth album, Heroes Are Hard to Find. What do you guys got to say? Well, I know Bryer has a little history lesson, but
Background information.
There you go. Got some backup singers too.
Breyer's information.
Showcase.
There you go. Should I go first, or Scott wants to go
Thomas the
first?
Tank Engine.
Oh yeah, it's my thing that I get when I get a text message.
Nice.
Okay, I'm gonna have to add that to background information now. So it goes background information. Woo! I'm gonna add that in the next video.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Right. So I guess I'll go first then. Well, now, yep. Background information. So this came out in July of 1974, and this came out during, I guess, the band's first real low point. So they did Mystery to Me. They toured it, and during that tour, Bob Weston had the great idea to have an affair with Mick's wife.
Oh boy.
And yes, understandably, Mick was pretty pissed about that. So they still kept the tour going. Of course, probably very tense during that whole period. Then once they were done, Bob Weston was out, and now it's just a four-piece. So you still have Bob Welch, Christine McVie, John McVie, and Mick Fleetwood. So once the tour was done, they decided to, maybe we should take a little break. I think we need it, and then we'll see if we come back. There's actually some talks that they might break up, but didn't really go into fruition. While they were on break, their manager, Clifford Davis, he also had a brilliant idea. While the real band decided to take a break, he decided to form a new Fleetwood Mac with different new members, and they were going to tour just so he didn't lose any money. Naturally, when the band found out, again, understandably, pretty pissed about that. So
Yeah.
they quickly fired Davis, and they decided to sue him, and then this led to this whole legal dispute. The band decides to move to Los Angeles, which would become something that would prove very beneficial for them, just so they get closer to the record label. Made deals with Warner Brothers, of course, and they kind of just made Los Angeles their new home. Mainly, it was Bob Welch's idea because, of course, he was from Los Angeles, so he kind of suggested that. And this legal dispute would go on until 78, so this would last a while. Yes, and of course, they still were somehow, in the span of these months, they were still able to put out this album here, which commercially, again, fairly well here in the US. It got to 34 in America. Again, didn't chart in the UK, but yeah, it's kind of become a thing at this point. And of course, wardrobe change. But anyhow, where was I? Oh yeah. So of course, Nick already mentioned that this is the last album to feature Bob Welch. All the legal stuff proved too much for him, so he decided to kind of leave and go on his own. Surprisingly, he would do pretty well on his own. He would have a pretty good solo career. And so that's pretty much all the background info here. And of course, there's one more thing to talk about when it comes to this album. I've always said Fleetwood Mac had a lot of misses with their album covers.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of them.
Yeesh.
Good old Mick Fleetwood just couldn't resist looking weird, trying to make things weird.
Yep. Mr. Wonderful is at it again.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's his daughter.
Yeah.
The girl.
It's funny. We have a lot of good things. I'm gonna have a lot of good things to say about Heaven and Hell when we review that. When me and you review that Black Sabbath album today.
Mhm.
But yeah, this album cover not good.
Yeah,
Don't
no,
judge it by the cover, though.
exactly. And funny enough, the person who took the photo is the same person who would do the next and Rumors as well.
Okay, well, they had much better ideas for the next two albums.
Oh yeah, totally. But other than that, that's my background information.
Cool. General thoughts on this album before we start. I remember the first time I listened to this album just thinking it was okay, just because I wanted to get on with the Buckingham Nicks stuff. I was excited to get to that. But listening to it again, I liked it a lot better this second time. And I'm not going to say the score or where it ranks right now, but expect good things from this album is all I'm going to say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was kind of the same way. First time I heard it, I was like, it's kind of, you can kind of hear all the stress they were probably going through. But yeah, this I listened to again this morning, and yeah, like Scott said, it was definitely a grower. Definitely grew on me a bit more.
I'm gonna be honest. I actually liked it the first time and like I liked it every time I listened to it. I agree. I liked it more. I like it more and more that I listen to it. But I've always loved this album. But that's coming from someone who just really enjoyed the Bob Welch era. So maybe that's just me.
No, you're the one who kept saying, like, you got to listen to those Bob Welch albums again.
Yeah, the Bob Welch eras are definitely the more growers. The ones you need to let grow on you the most. But without further ado, first track on the album, the title track, and the second time that Christine McVie got to lead off an album. Heroes Are Hard to Find.
Yeah, this is an amazing way to start the album. What I really like about these last two Bob Welch albums is it's all Bob Welch and Christine McVie, who were the best members in the band at the time. And so getting to hear this, like, Christine McVie start the album is really great. I love kind of the is there like a horn section on this one, I think?
Yes,
I
there
like
is.
that. I like that about it. Her piano playing is really great, and it's weird because most of her songs have like this like romantic idealization of love, and this song is more cynical, which is kind of odd for Christine McVie, but it works in this song's favor. I think it's a really good song and one of the best songs on the album, but you might hear me say that a lot for this album.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. This is another really good song from Christine. This was actually released as a single. Didn't chart, unfortunately, but
I'd
yeah,
play it
it's
on
just
the radio.
yeah, totally. But yeah, it's just a very fun opening track. The horns on this one, very nice here. Again, I really like the guitar, the rhythm playing on here as well. Just listen to that guitar by Bob; it's pretty nice. But yeah, it's just a really great opening song here.
I agree. I agree with all. I agree with both of you. This is a great song. Sadly, it's not in my top five. I really wanted it to be, but
I haven't
that's
even made my top 5 yet. I'm gonna make it as we go along because I just need to re-talk about the songs before I can decide there's that many good songs on this album.
yeah. I made my list already, and most of it's Bob Welch stuff, sadly. But you know,
Me too.
this is a great song to open up the album. This album is probably the closest you'll get Christine McVie to sounding like the Lindsey Buckingham era stuff. There is one problem. It's no Dust My Broom.
No, it is
Joking,
not.
obviously. Yep. Thank you for watching, Jason. I appreciate the view. But yeah, this is a really great track, and you know you're getting into a great album when the title track is in my top five.
Yeah.
Next song, first Bob Welch song on the album, "Coming Home."
Oh wow. Okay. So what was with Bob Welch like deciding, okay, I'm gonna get even more weird and experimental on this album. And some of these songs are really like trippy and experimental, borderline psychedelic almost. I feel like honestly the closest thing I can say is that it's kind of like neo Pink Floyd almost. Like it's got like the low pitch like voice in the background, and it's got the spacey sound effects and the cool guitar. I mean, this isn't like one of my favorite songs on the album, but it's still really cool.
Okay.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, kind of similar feeling for this one. Again, this is probably it's not one of my favorites on the album, but there's still some interesting parts to it. It's again kind of Bob's kind of going back on this kind of more ominous, more moody type of sound that he's done a lot, and has this weird spoken word in the intro, which was kind of interesting. I didn't look up what he was saying, but it's kind of interesting. But yeah, the musically it's pretty great. Great drumming, guitars, piano was really nice. It's also very fascinating that there's really, aside from that spoken word intro, there's really no vocals until like the halfway point, which is pretty unusual by this point. But yeah, it's still a fine song. But again, it's not one of my favorites.
I think this is one of the better songs on the album. I really like the song. It's so crazy. It's like, oh, it's one of my favorite songs. I think it's actually a good choice. I actually thought it was pretty cool that they toned his vocals down. I think it adds to its greatness. It's, in my opinion, one of my favorites off this album. Before we get to the next track, I'm going to read the comments that Jason's putting down. You guys are getting closer to rumors. Yes. Speaking of which, Jason Millennial, episode 11, check that out. We're doing rumors, and Jason's going to be a part of that because that's his album. He knows. In fact, the next couple of albums is like peak Fleetwood Mac. I agree. I prefer the Bob Welch stuff, but this is in terms of popularity, yes, it is them at their peak and some of their best music's being made. Don't know any of the songs on this album. The next two though have some radio classics. I have a question, Jason. Do you want to listen? Are you familiar with that album at all? Because you could join us on that album too. You could
Yeah,
join us on that album in Rumors. I'm cool with that, especially
Mm.
Rumors. That's the one that I would really
I
like
would
you.
say, Jason, if you want a good introduction to Bob Welch, Fleetwood Mac, I would listen to Mystery to Me. I
Yeah,
think you'd really like that album, even
I
though it
agree.
has a weird album cover with the monkey mammoth eating the cake.
Hmm.
I think Jason would actually really like that album. It's pretty good.
Yeah. Next song on the album, Angel.
Oh man, another great song. I like this one even better. I like the bass from John McVie, like the bow, 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 bow. Oh yeah, no, me too. You
I
know
love
the
it.
saying, "Don't judge a book by its cover." Textbook example of this album.
I would wear a
But
T-shirt with that. I would
what
wear it in public. I wouldn't care.
you'd wear a "Heroes Are Hard to Find"
Well,
T-shirt?
that too.
Well, I would definitely wear a Mystery to Me T-shirt, but not the Heroes Are Hard to Find one. I know. You know what? You know what would be funny is if we all got custom Mr. Wonderful T-shirts.
Oh no.
Nice.
Oh boy. Anyway, Angel, really cool song.
Hello, gentlemen. How's it
Hello.
going?
Hello, Tyler.
Pretty good.
I look forward to our time this evening
Oh yes,
Yes.
for Zeppelin for
with the lead.
Okay,
Man,
so
the-
Tyler, I have a question.
Zeppelin
So
untitled album.
we were just talking about getting custom T-shirts with Mr. Wonderful. Would you join us in that?
Mr. Wonderful.
And then like it's
Just the front album or the full photo?
the full photo, and then it says "Dust My Brim" real big on it.
How about you, Jason? Want to do that?
Oh my goodness.
Oh boy.
We'd be matching.
Oh boy.
That's crazy.
I need to listen to some of these albums. Yes, you have to, by law.
Especially this one and Mystery to Me. Those two. And Penguin.
How
those
was,
two.
how was Onion?
Oh, me is mediocre as heck. I only listened to the first half, but I got bored and turned it off.
Oh, what?
Just based on the first time, like a 6.
Oh, Union by Yes.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
mediocre album. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I bought it, but
Yeah, I didn't care for it either, and I have it on CD.
Okay. So you're just saying how much you like Angel?
give me just a moment. Let somebody else give their thoughts. I have a text I need to respond to.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so my thoughts on Angel. Yeah, definitely better song than the last one, in my opinion. Again, some Scott was kind of mentioning the bass, I think, and yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Some great bass playing on here as well by John. Scott has kept this very driving rhythm throughout, and it does kind of stay in this field, and that's kind of that rhythm, pretty much the whole song. But I don't mind it. It does have a pretty memorable chorus. How Bob is singing "Angel." Uh, just how he sings it, it's kind of is pretty memorable. So yeah, it's a very good song.
I really
Yeah.
like this song too. This is a great song. It's no Dust by Broom, but it's a good effort. As I famously said on the original 1970 albums, think about Deja Vu.
I love the vibe of this. Like Bob Welch is the king of vibe.
Right.
This really spacey, atmospheric, and those are the best words I can use to describe it. Just really, really good. I love his guitar playing too.
Yeah.
By this point, it's all him. There's not another player in the band.
Mm-hmm.
Next song on the album, Bermuda Triangle.
You gonna hit us with 3 amazing Bob Welch songs in a row?
I know, right?
Another amazing one. It's got the vibe, it's got the atmosphere, and like it's got his like creepy like ghost story lyrics too.
Mm-hmm.
And a line in this song is going to be used in another song, but it's like when you find your safe harbor, that's going to come back later on the album. So keep an eye on that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is like my favorite Bob Welch song on this album. Again, it's that atmospheric, that kind of very slow acoustic guitar intro, and what sounds like congas or bongos. I'm not sure which one's which, but it definitely sets the tone. But then once the drums kick in, then you're just given this like very cool groove on here that you're just kind of vibing the whole time. And once again, John has really good bass work on this one. And the keyboards or piano is just again adding nice texture throughout. Yeah, this is a very good one from Bob here.
It's another amazing song on the album. Just, oh man, this is just top tier Pink. I was gonna say Pink Floyd by accident. top tier Fleetwood Mac material. It's just so underrated. Such an underrated song. Most of these songs are so underrated. Next song on the album, Come a Little Bit Closer.
All right, so we're back to Christine, and yeah, of course, another good one from her, I think. It has just lovely piano on here, and you even get some pretty nice pedal steel guitar, which was done by a different person. It was kind of a session guy they got for this steel guitar, but still sounds great. Drumming on here is very nice, has like a nice big sound to it, and of course you got the strings on here. Like it's nice to hear some strings on here. Really adds to that gives it a very romantic feel, even though it's kind of more of a sadder type of track. But yeah, another highlight for me.
Another amazing song by Christine McVie. She's really just like she had it going from the beginning with the great songs, but it's like her great songs are getting even greater, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
Like she's really growing as a songwriter.
That's good. I'm glad she's just even getting better from where she got. I thought she was like perfect before, but like just like perfection.
Yeah, no, she was perfect. Now she's
Yeah.
McVie.
Exactly.
She's building on the perfection. This is a great way to close out the first side of the album. Really, really good way to close out the first side of the album. I don't have a whole lot to say about it, but this is this just barely didn't make it in my top 5, but this song's still incredible. Side 2 opens up with "She's Changing Me."
Another amazing Bob Welch song. I love this one. I love there's some interesting chord selections in this song, and I like the guitar on it. There's like some steel guitar in there as well. But Christine's piano is great. I like the melody on it. Bob's singing is really good. It's another amazing song on this album.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, just the acoustic guitar just has this very bright sound to it, which is I didn't notice it till this particular track where I feel like, that's pretty nice. And again, this song also has some horns as well that you'll occasionally hear. Chorus is pretty memorable as well. It's just a pretty good soft rock type of track, and yeah, I like it. Short and sweet.
It sounds like something that Christine McVie would make.
I was just thinking that. I'm gonna say
Kind of.
something similar later.
Yeah, it's weird because like Bob is singing this song that sounds like Christine, and then spoiler, the next song, "Bad Loser," sounds like something Bob would write, but Christine is singing.
That's what I love about those two songs the most is that like, it's like they both sound great sounding like like when like sometimes when another band member tries to be like a certain other member, it comes off as just not good. But like for some odd reason, when they do each other's styles, it works perfectly. It's
Like when Jeremy Spencer tries to be Buddy Holly.
oh, that's horrible. Let's not talk about that, please. Or when he's trying to rip off, or when he uses the same 4 riffs over and over. Let's never talk about that unless we're making fun of it. But yeah, it's just, I don't want to think about that. This is awesome. Next song on the album is "Bad Loser," as Scott just mentioned.
This is the Christine trying to sound like Bob's song, and it's really cool. Whenever I first heard it, I thought, oh, here comes another great Bob Welch song. And then Christine starts singing, and I was like, whoa, hold on a second. Where did that come from?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. Just, yeah, exactly what I first thought. Like, oh, wow, this sounds very different than what we usually hear from Christine. But yeah, I like it. Just adds a whole other dimension for her as a songwriter. Drumming and bass, top notch, good piano. Again, has a nice moody tone. Yeah, I dig it.
I think there's a really good song on the album. This is I love the fact that she did Bob Welch. It's like, oh man, it's awesome. This is an awesome song. This did make it my top 5. That's how great it was. I'm like, Christian McVie does it amazing. Just great song. Great. These last 2 songs were just phenomenal. Next song on the album, "Silver Heels."
Ooh, okay. I love this song. This is another Bob Welch song. This is the funkiest Bob Welch song on the album, but it is amazing. And I love the line where he's like, if I could just sing like Paul McCartney and get funky like Etta James or something like that. That's the part that keeps getting in my head.
Don't we all think that?
Yes. But I don't know, just something about this song when I was listening to it was just vibing with it. Even more than some of the other stuff. Even more so than Bermuda Triangle, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, I like this one as well. It just barely missed the top 5. It got to number 6 for me, but still, I really enjoyed it. I didn't have a whole lot to say, honestly. I just, yeah, like Scott said, you just kind of vibe with it. Good guitar work as well, of course. The chorus is very good, and I like in the chorus you hear some clapping. I'm a sucker for that type of clapping sound. And the backing vocals very good. So yeah, another nice song.
It's a pretty good song. This isn't one of my favorites on the album, so probably towards the bottom of the list, but it's pretty good. I like it. It's just compared to the songs that came before it. This is still a great song, but not as good. Next song on the album, Prove Your Love.
All right, I'm going first for this one because I was talking in the group chat a little bit that I loved this song. It's become one of my favorite Christine songs now. It's nothing too out there. It's pretty how we usually hear from Christine. It's another kind of a more love song, but I just love how she just sings out the melody in the beginning, and she kind of keeps doing it. Just love that melody to it, and again, she sounds gorgeous on the track. Again, you have great piano and keyboards on this one, and once again, the strings just absolutely sound amazing on here. Yeah, I mean it's gonna be pretty high on my top 5, but yeah, I loved this song.
I really like this song as well. More great piano playing from Christine McVie, great songwriting, and I love whenever the string section comes in. It is amazing. It's between this and the title track for my favorite of Christine's songs on this album. Although Born Loser is pretty great as well. Bad Loser, whatever it was called.
This is
Bad
an amazing,
Loser.
This is an amazing song. Again, sadly, it didn't make my top 5, but this song's amazing. It's just another amazing Christine McVie song. Hopefully, you're not too upset for me not saying that's in my top 5.
I'm fine.
Born Enchanter is the next song on the album.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this one as well. Again, back to some more Bob, and yeah, just probably definitely the most jazzy sounding song here. I've always enjoyed when Bob shows his jazz influence. It's always sounds really good, like Hypnotize is one. Again, the piano and the guitars just have a nice little introduction here. And again, the bass and the drums, again, very tight. It's just, yeah. Again, I didn't have a lot to say about it, but yeah, it's just another one of those songs you just vibe to. You just kind of dig the mood.
Yeah, this one is good. I don't think it's one of my favorites on the album, but I still really like it. More Bob Welch vibey stuff, which I'm always up for that.
I still really think this is an amazing song, but I will agree this is one of the weaker songs on the album. I don't have a whole lot to say about it, but yeah. Last song on the album, Safe Harbor.
Oh, dude, this is like Albatross, but even better in my opinion. It's like Albatross Part 2, and you got that like lazy floating downstream feel. But then you get Bob Welch singing one line at the end. It's the last thing he ever sings in Fleetwood Mac. It is so haunting. It's just, if I could only find a safe harbor and have a conversation with a friend or something like that, and then it just cuts off. Like it just ends. Like he sings that and then it just cuts out. It's like, wow, that's such a haunting way to leave the band.
Yeah, especially when you know how he passed away.
Yeah.
Kind of very haunting. But yeah, I agree. This is, yeah, it's a very, very nice song for Bob to go out with. And just this very atmospheric, good melodic guitar playing. It's very pretty. It's, yeah, it definitely was a song where I was like, I kind of wanted more, but at the end of the day, it's just, I think it's a very nice way to go out.
I think this is the best track on the album just for the haunting factor of it. It's the most haunting song. I'm going to say this is probably their most haunting track that they've made so far. Like, they've had some haunting moments and like Then Play On. There's a second side song, first song on the second side of the album. I forgot what the name is. They've had haunting moments throughout the Bob Welch stuff, but this is their most haunting.
Oh, Although the Sun is Shining?
Yeah. But yeah, this is just, it's amazing. This is very brilliant. Yeah, this is awesome. This is an awesome track. What is your guys' top 5?
Oh boy, time to.
All right, I'll go first then. So my number 5 might be a shock, but I'm going with Born Enchanter.
Oh wow.
Yeah, again, I like the jazz influence. Number 4. What? Hold on a second. I think I wrote the title wrong, but it's a little bit closer. I was number 4. Number 3, title track. Number 2, Bermuda Triangle, and number 1, Prove Your Love. And for honorable mention, it's Silver Heels.
Okay, and I've got to do it in the other order. Number 1, Silver Heels. I love that song. Number 2, Bermuda Triangle. Number 3, She's Changing Me. Number 4, Angel. And number 5, Heroes Are Hard to Find. And I'll have Safe Harbor and Prove Your Love as the honorable mentions.
Okay. My number 5 should be Bad Loser. Number 4 should be She's Changing Me. Number 3, Bermuda Triangle. Number 1, Coming Home. I feel like I like that one the most. And my favorite track on the album is the last track on the album, Safe Harbor. And hey, I'll give off 2 honorable mentions, Angel and Come a Little Bit Closer. Great songs. What would you guys rate it from 1 through 10?
Okay. Well, here it is. This is going to be very surprising, but I'm going to give this a 9.25 out of 10. Yeah, there was really no songs that when I was listening to this album, I was like, I could have done without that. Every song on here was really amazing and engaging, and I definitely need to get this album. It's now one of my Fleetwood Mac albums. Other than that, the only reason it got 9.25 and not even higher than that is because of that album cover. But
right. Yeah, I wish my CD copy came in time for this, but hopefully soon it's gonna be here. But yeah, my rating. This was actually so far the hardest album to rate because like I said, when I first heard it, I thought it was like, oh, it's good, I liked it. But again, it's an album that definitely gets better the more you kind of listen to it. So this is going to be subject to change. But as of right now, I'll give it an 8 out of 10 for right now. Again, it could go higher, but yeah, it's very, very good album. I really enjoyed it.
I'm giving it another 10 out of 10. Just another album with amazing song after amazing song. I know. After going through these Bob Welch albums, I have to say it's a crime that I didn't have all 5 of them in my top 100. Just gonna say that right now.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, before we do this, guys have any last thoughts from because I was gonna do this for each of the eras, but I know we weren't gonna want to talk about the Peter Green stuff. We just wanted to move on. But what's your guys' final thoughts on the Bob Welch era of Fleetwood Mac?
I know for me, I think before we did this, before you two did that deep dive for Fleetwood Mac, I was kind of the one that was the most versed in it because I knew 2 of them. And I enjoyed both of them, of course, those 2 being Bare Trees and Mr. To Me. But going through the others that I did not listen to, like, I'm very glad I got to go through them because there was a lot more hidden gems that I didn't know about. And so of course Bob Welch, really great talent, good guitar playing, good songwriter, and yeah, he definitely left a mark on his bands. It's kind of a shame not many people talk about him these days, but I definitely do think he deserves way more recognition. And of course, Christine, again, there's a reason why my name is Christine McVie right here, is because again, her songwriting throughout this whole period just been so strong. Like even back on future games, like she has been very consistent. And of course, as we go through, she's going to be even like she's still going to have that consistency. So yeah, very glad to go through this whole era again.
So for me, I had no idea who Bob Welch was until I was watching one of Breyer's videos, and he pulled out that Mystery to Me, and he said something like, "This is one from the Bob Welch era that's actually pretty good." And I'm like, "Who's Bob Welch?" I had heard the name Peter Green before. It was like that's like early dusty Fleetwood Mac, but then like there's another person before Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks. So I did my deep dive through Fleetwood Mac. I listened through. And the first time around, I was like, okay, the Bob Welch albums are pretty good. second time listening to them for this series, they're amazing, and I need to get all 5 of them. I will not get early Peter Green stuff unless it's maybe just to be funny. I've thought about buying Mr. Wonderful just as a joke, just so I could hear "Dust My Broom" on my big sound system.
Oh yeah,
But
now that's a vibe.
I saw English Rose at the store the other day and almost bought it.
My final thoughts on the Bob Welch era albums. I've loved them from the first time I've heard them, but I've loved them even more the second time around. Just amazing music. I may be going back to these 5 the most, for sure, compared to the first 4 albums. But I'm gonna say this right now. I'm gonna say
I do like me some Then Play On. That's a good album.
I love Then Play On, but I'm gonna say this. I think all 5 of those of the Bob Welch albums are better than Then Play On now.
I like Then Play. Well, we're gonna do a ranking pretty soon. Like, is the next thing we're doing giving a ranking of the albums as of now, or?
Well, we're doing the Bob Welch rankings. Actually, do you guys have all the album rankings?
I mean, I've done it. I've been doing it since the beginning.
Yeah.
Do you have the albums ranked?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but we're definitely gonna be doing a video ranking all of their albums. But
that's gonna be that's once we do all.
Yeah, we'll probably just rank the Bob Welch eras only, and then save the big ranking for the last episode.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, but I didn't know if you guys were trying to.
Well, then I'll just say I like Then Play On better than Future Games and Bear Trees, but other than that, all of the other Bob Welch albums I like better.
Okay. I've never heard of Bob Welch or Peter Green until you guys talked about him.
I like Bob Welch better than Peter Green. And
a lot better for me.
What really proves that is I found a live version of him doing "Oh Well," and I'm like, oh man, he sounds amazing on this too.
Growing up, the only person I knew was Stevie Nicks. Okay. I guess we'll just give our ranking of the Bob Welches, not like one. We'll just give our ranking. Just Bryer, I guess you could go first.
All right. So again, some of this can be subject to change, but based on what I have right now. So again, I should probably preference that even though this album is at the bottom, does not mean I don't like it. It's just that I just like the others a bit more. And number 5, in terms of the Bob Welch era, I'm going to go with Penguin. Again, very enjoyable. Pretty much enjoyed a lot of the songs, but Dave Walker was kind of the only thing that kind of brought it down for me. Again, didn't quite fit, but again, he wasn't bad. Number 4, this is where I'm going to put Heroes Are Hard to Find. Again, this could go up or it could go up the more I hear it, but definitely, like, you can just watch a review again so you can hear my thoughts on it, but there you go. Number 3, Future Games. Very strong beginning for this era. Good stuff. 2 might be the one that likes this album the most. Actually, I'm pretty confident in that, but I have Bear Trees at number 2. Yeah, there's a couple songs I don't care for, like the last song,
Number 9.
Yeah, exactly. But the songs that I really loved is kind of why it got pushed to number 2, because again, the songs that I had in my top 5 are just like I really enjoy those ones. So it's number 2, and number 1, Mr. Jimmy. No shock there.
Well, there's going to be a little bit of shock on my ranking because I'm very surprised at where some of these ranked. And there's a pattern in my ranking. It was not intentional, but I found a pattern in my ranking, and see if you can spot it. Oh, I see the Future Games long box in the background.
Yeah.
Okay, number 5. And prefacing like Bryer, I love all these albums. It's just something has to be number 5. Is actually Future Games. I love the title track, but there's too much Danny Kerwin and not enough Christine McVie or Bob Welch. And Danny Kerwin was definitely the high point of Then Play On and Kiln House, but during these albums, it felt like he was kind of weighing the band down, if honestly speaking. Like, his songs are good, it's just they go on a little too long sometimes, and I just want to get to the Bob and Christine stuff. And that goes the same for my number 4. Bear Trees, great album, but suffers from some of the same things that Future Games does, as well as adding a weird poem at the end where this lady's just like, so wonderful, so lovely, so lovely. I don't like that. Number 3 is going to be Penguin. I actually really like that album. I love Night Watch. That song is amazing. And yeah, Bob Weston is great. It's Dave Walker. I don't feel like he exactly gels with the band, but the stuff that's not his is great. And here's the part that really surprised me. What number 2? I thought for the life of me this was going to be number 1, but it ended up being number 2. And that's Mystery to Me. Hypnotized is still my favorite Bob Welch song. Fantastic, but amazing stuff on the whole album, but it ended up being number 2. And number 1, oddly enough, was Heroes Are Hard to Find.
Interesting. I noticed that basically every album gets better for you.
That was the pattern.
My list is kind of a little different from yours. I feel like I dislike this album. I'm gonna preface it. This is my favorite era of Fleetwood Mac, and I think all 5 of these albums are amazing.
Me too.
I think I'm the one who had this. I'm the one who has it the lowest. I think Bare Trees is at number 5 because of the distortion thing and the home thing.
So lovely.
I will say, Sentimental Lady is the best thing that came from that album, and I think it's worth
Love
giving
that
it
song.
at least a 9 out of 10 just for that. Future Games is at number 4. It has my favorite Fleetwood Mac song, period, from them, and the rest is really good. I actually really like the Danny Kerwin stuff. I don't think it drags the album. I will say they're probably my least favorites for the most part, but it's a really great album. The rest are like 10 out of 10 albums for me. Number 3, Penguin. This is a great album. Just great stuff. Heroes Are Hard to Find is at my number 2. Again, really good stuff. And my number 1's actually to be Mystery to Me. I actually agree with Bryer with that. Hypnotize is amazing. Why is brilliant. I love all these albums though. Scott's list even surprised himself. So thank you guys for watching this video. Hope you guys have a good one. Yeah, guys, have any last words before we continue? Before we end the stream?
Stay tuned. It's rendering a new era for Fleetwood Mac.
Yes.
If I could only find a safe harbor and have a conversation with a friend.
Thank you guys for watching this so long.